Welcome to the Hearse Whisperers, where we give you an inside look at life in the slow lane and talk openly about the death care industry. We're here to pull back the curtain on what really goes on behind the scenes in funeral service, from the heartfelt to the humorous, the traditional to the taboo. There's a lot of misunderstanding out there, but the more we talk about death and grief, the more empowered we become. We're glad you found us, so please like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell so you'll be the first to know when new episodes drop. Welcome back to the Hearse Whispers. Today we have some more funeral-related news for you, but first, as always, trivia from Dave.
Yes. This is actually big trivia.
Okay, I'm
In
ready.
fact, it's not even trivia.
I have no idea what this could be.
This is really big. I was exploring a couple of cemeteries online last week or the week before, and I came across at Cedar Lawn Cemetery in Patterson the grave of a Mr. John Leal. Now you ask, who's John Leal?
Who is John Leal?
Well, I'll tell you. We got to go way back in time to the 1850s. The first sewer systems appeared in Chicago and New York, but all they did was pipe wastewater from the houses, usually very close into the lake or into the river. So there was still cholera, all these epidemics. Up till the 1850s, people would throw their buckets out the window into the street.
Yeah.
And the horses would be pooping. It'd be great.
Gross.
So there was just diseases all over the place, because not until the 1870s did they discover that germs caused diseases. They used to think it was the air,
Yes.
bad air.
Right.
So go a little further. In the early 1900s, they did some experiments in England. Now I'm starting to ramble, but they did some experiments in England about clean drinking water. But in the United States, and they were very successful. They were using chemicals. So in the U.S., these experiments were not popular. They would have protests in the streets. Don't poison our water. Don't do this. So fast forward to 1899, Dr. John Leal decides to join the Jersey City Water Supply Company, because Patterson did not have a sewer system at all. So the good old days. Infant mortality rate was over 20%, mostly caused by diarrhea and cholera from contaminated drinking water. So the Jersey City Water Supply won a contract from Patterson to dam up the Rockaway River, which was right outside Patterson, and it formed the Boonton Reservoir. Boonton Reservoir. So they tested the reservoir, and they found that it was still full of cholera and typhoid from all the stuff that was going into it. So the city sued Jersey City Water Supply with John Leal, and they went to court, and the judge said, I'm going to give you 90 days to improve this. So rather than dig a new, this is my cheat sheets, rather than dig a new sewer system, John Leal said, I have an idea. Why don't we just clean up the reservoir?
Smart.
Yes. And he still was getting a lot of flack about that, because he wanted to clean it up with chlorine. So what would be the best way to chlorinate the water without protests?
Let's see. Secret. In the dark.
They did it in
Cover
the
of
dark.
night.
They built a water purification plant up in the Boonton Reservoir, first one in the country.
No one was up there.
This could chlorinate 30 to 40 million gallons of water per day.
Wow.
So the system was up and running within a 3-month deadline. And on September 26, 1908, which is a big day
Yes.
for some people, chlorinated water began being delivered to the unsuspecting residents of Patterson. And they didn't know about it till 3 days later. They had to appear in court. Judge was shocked. And then we have, and Leal said, I drink it all the time, and the judge just let it go. So he said that they met their contractual obligation, and the city was going to have pure and wholesome drinking water. The effect was immediate. We're wrapping up the trivia now. Death rate from typhoid fell from 40.6 per 100,000 in 1898 to 21.4 in 1908 to 10 in 1910 and almost 0 by 1925.
Wow. That's huge.
That is tremendous.
Yes.
By 1940, deaths from cholera and typhoid had virtually disappeared in the U.S., all because of chlorinated water. But unfortunately for Mr. Leal, Dr. Leal, he died in 1914 from complications of diabetes. But we have a picture of his grave. I found it in
Cedar Lawn.
Yeah.
So I think that's very interesting because we sometimes hear about famous graves of celebrities or mostly like entertainers and singers and things like that. But this is Dr. Leal is very famous. Like,
He
here
really
you go.
is.
He
Yeah.
saved lives.
And Dr. Leal's, it's a monument. It's well, you'll see the picture.
Mm-hmm.
It's only about this tall. You'd think Dr.
He should have,
he'd have
Empire
this
State Building
tremendous thing.
size.
Yeah. So, but it does say over his name, I think it says Hero of Health.
Oh, wow.
But
Very nice.
so that's the trivia. But we'll have more trivia. Actually, we'll have more trivia from Cedar Lawn.
Yes. So Cedar Lawn is such a, it's, I mean, I don't want to say the word ancient. It's not ancient, but what do you think? 1800, maybe before 1800?
I think the early 1800s.
Yeah. I mean, that's got a lot of history to it.
Yeah.
A lot of history.
A lot of big Patterson names.
Yep.
So
All
we
right.
probably won't be able to hit on them all.
Well,
But
all right. So
Marvin
now
likes it.
we'll get into some funeral related news.
Yes.
And the first one we have for you today is something which goes back just a couple weeks ago in November. And this is big news regarding the Sharing Network, which is an organ procurement agency. And so when you hear of organ donation in New Jersey, this is the big agency that facilitates the donations. And something that really caught me about this story is it does play into the fear that people have with organ donation.
Right.
So organ donation is something that you would sign up for. Everyone's kind of used to doing that, like seeing that on their driver's license, the checkbox, or it might be a little different now, but you have to kind of authorize that. But at the end of the day, your family also has to agree at that time, should you be in that position. But you hear people say, well, I don't want to sign up for organ donation because I feel like they won't save my life if it's a life-threatening situation because they want the organs.
Or
And
some celebrity might need a lung.
yeah, like somebody, right.
Yeah.
And then, of course, that's a rumor. And whenever I've heard that, I say, oh, that can't be true. And I'm not saying it's true. Disclaimer, not saying it's true. But this news story is that the Sharing Network is under investigation by the House Ways and Means Committee about concerns of violations of the statutes for a couple of reasons, whether they fraudulently billed Medicare, and also for egregious actions, which means manipulating documents, doing out-of-sequence organ allocations, and even one case where they feel that the organ donation Sharing Network may have persuaded the taking off of someone of life support, although there were signs.
Right.
So what do you think about this, Dave?
Well, first thing I'll say is you are innocent until proven guilty.
100%. This is just a story.
Yep.
That
I've had
is,
a few things in my life where people said, how could you do that? And it wasn't true.
Yes.
So that's what I think. However, if it is true, it's really going to rock the whole donor system.
Right.
I used to be involved with the Sharing Network going back, way back when. And they would not procure any organs for 24, there had to be no brain activity for 24 hours. And I was told they could go 23 hours and 45 minutes, and then the brain goes, boop, little activity, the clock goes back to zero. And so many people can be helped by a donor.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, just you have the two eyes, your skin, your bones, your actual organs. It's amazing what people can do. And back when I was in it, not in it, but associated with it. They would say that every day you'd look at the obituaries, and if there were 40 obituaries that day, then they would say, well, there goes 80 eyes, there goes all those bones, there goes all the skin. So, because chances are not many people would donate.
Right.
And they still don't.
They still don't. And I think, unfortunately, a story like this is going to scare people and push people away, which I would just like to say, maybe don't, like you said, innocent to proven guilty. Don't let that be your, do your own research. But right now, they're kind of in this investigation, and I think we'll have to wait and see how it comes out.
Yeah.
It may turn out that there's going to be more oversight, more rules. This is usually what happens. More regulations, more rules. Great. So we'll have to wait and see. But it looks like they had until December 3rd to respond. So soon we should see what their response is and how the rest of that turns out.
Usually those accusations are page 1, the response is in the sports section. So.
Well, I know. We'll have to dig. We'll dig.
Yes,
we'll dig for the response.
The Hearse Whisperers will get to the bottom of this.
Yes, 100%. Yeah.
I am on Team Sharing Network.
Team Sharing Network, yeah. Okay.
So.
All right. So a little more news. Dave, I think you should talk about this. This is very interesting.
This is
Crystal
tremendous.
Castle.
Yes.
Yeah.
Out in Wyoming. Where else? In Wyoming, someone has built a house out of empty embalming fluid bottles. So who would have think all those years you throw out the embalming fluid bottles, you could have had a house.
Could have had a house. Although this is of glass.
Yes,
and
these are the
bottles
old
are now
ones.
plastic, so
Plastic,
I don't think you could do that now.
No, and this is from the early 1960s. So, but the man in the 60s, I got my notes here. You can tell I was a great student. Let's see. It's the Crystal Castle, which recently was listed for sale, and this is from November 12th. So it was listed for sale at the bargain price of $325,000. Now, that's a 766 square foot, 1 bedroom, 1 bath, which sits on 3.34 acres, which probably in Wyoming is a postage stamp.
Yeah. Right.
But it's supposed to be a vacation cabin. So, but it was built in 1963 by Harry Wildholm, who was not involved in death care. So, he had gone to Canada and seen what is called the Glass House in Kootenai Lake in Sanka, British Columbia. The Glass House was built by David Brown, who was a funeral director.
Oh, so this is really David Brown's idea.
Yeah, this is a copycat.
That's a copycat.
Yeah.
Wyoming
but
copycat.
1952, he retired and he went all over Western Canada to see his friendly funeral director friends and collected 500,000 bottles. And he and his brother cleaned 500,000 bottles of embalming fluid and put it in this house. What did they do? They did it in a special way.
Yes. We'll put up the photos, but it's a very
A student.
Interesting.
Okay. Hand washed each bottle to prevent discoloration and odor and place them in an overall barbell pattern. Oh. So that Windholm himself had designed. So this man saw it, he copied it, and there it is.
There it is.
But the one in Canada had a lighthouse as well.
Oh.
Built out of embalming fluid.
What would possess you to do that?
I really don't know. I mean, I
mean, being creative, I guess, or into architecture, but still, like embalming fluid bottles.
Of all things.
Of all things.
I know.
It's very strange.
What if he snuck a Coke bottle in there?
Oh my gosh.
Jeez.
Imagine.
Would the whole thing fall down?
Imagine. I just can't even think, okay, so let's do simple math. How many deceased people contributed to that?
Probably close to 500, right?
Right?
1,000.
1,000, yeah, because say a cup, 1, 2, 3, maybe bottles a person, something like that, maybe more. It'd be interesting to know how many people that was. But that's something.
Yeah, and then there's different types of embalming fluid, like you said, 2 or 3 bottles per person. And then it's only 200,000.
Only two. Yeah. You have a
So.
smaller house.
But it must have been great to have him walk into his friend's funeral home and they give me your embalming bottles, your empties.
Yeah, why?
I'm building a house.
I'm building a house.
Yeah,
Yeah,
okay.
no one probably believed that.
In
That's
Canada, geez, it must be cold.
Yeah, glass.
That's.
I
So.
know. Someone will come on the comments and say glass is very insulating or something like that.
Especially
But,
embalming glass.
Yeah, no.
So, but I know we have some of the old ones back at the
We
funeral.
have some. Well, I'll bring it on for another episode. We'll have
Oh,
a little,
yeah,
we'll have
that's
a little
right.
display. But they're not that big either. Like, here's a little 16-ounce bottle of water. They're 16 ounces. So, like, I mean, think about 500,000 of these.
Yeah.
Like, that's...
The old ones were square, though.
Yes.
The old
square.
glass ones.
Mhm.
But still, they weren't much bigger than that.
No.
So,
That's crazy.
not easy.
Nope.
Not easy.
All right. So,
What other news,
What other
Michelle?
news do we have? So, this is about unclaimed cremated remains of veterans. So, this is really an important thing. So, a lot of funeral homes have unclaimed cremated remains. So we can talk about that a little bit. I mean,
Sure.
It seems probably to people who don't know much about it that it would be odd that someone would leave cremated remains of their loved one at the funeral home. But it does commonly happen.
Yeah.
And for various reasons, like, for example, somebody may not be ready yet to bring that person home, or they don't have a plan. They want to go to a cemetery, but they're not sure where, like various things. And
Yeah.
then sometimes the generations change. And I mean, I know we've had a couple of instances where someone didn't even realize that a person was still there. Like, oh, I thought my mom was going to take care of
That's
that.
right.
And now my
Yeah.
mom has passed away. And so now I didn't know Aunt
Sure.
Sally was still at the funeral home, like
Yeah.
that kind of thing.
Oh, yeah. And it's not just Feeney Funeral Home.
Oh, it's
everybody.
everywhere.
Every
So
funeral home.
so every funeral home. So a lot of funeral homes will go through processes to try to find, the related people and work on that.
You would know about that.
Yes, I've actually worked on that project myself.
Yeah.
But this is specifically about veterans, and in New Jersey, we at Feeney Funeral Home, we did work on this. This is going back quite some time, but there is an association that will contact the funeral home and say, do you have any veterans in your care? And then there's a process of sending certified letters to the family and seeing if anyone will claim them. But if they remain unclaimed, then we go forward with the process of bringing them to a veteran cemetery. So this is a new legislation in New Jersey to ensure that every veteran in the state receives dignified and proper interment,
Right.
even when they go unclaimed.
And I think that's even for people who haven't been buried. I think it's just
Okay,
not
so
cremation.
yeah, for anyone. So this kind of enacts this sooner than the process that I was just discussing. So in the process we worked on, some of these veterans might have been in funeral homes for like 20, 30 years.
Yeah.
This is going to have a system where after 1 year, if there's an unclaimed remain, it starts the process of placing that person in the right place.
And I know when we enter in on the computer, all the information, that's going to notify whatever committee it is that we have a veteran in our care.
Right. So we have, when we do death certificates, there's electronic registration with that. And one of the questions is this person a veteran, or did they serve in the armed forces? Yes or no? So it'll be all linked together. I think this is great. I really like that.
I do too. And you know that hopefully at the other end of that will be someone who has their little calendar, computerized, I'm sure, that will, all the names will come up and they will notify us to see if they have indeed been buried or whatever,
Yes. I think this is awesome.
Yeah.
This is awesome. So hopefully this goes all the way through. It looks like they have the bill on its way, but very interesting, and hopefully this will keep. It would be great if there would be a system like this for everybody.
Yeah.
I wonder if that would happen in the future.
I know.
Just to see where everyone's cremated remains.
I know
wind up.
everybody. There's always they can always track you.
Right.
Like even if you're indigent or someone is indigent and they're buried in New York on the island there,
Yes.
everybody has a number maybe not a name, but somehow they can cross-reference things and they know just where that number is.
Right.
So they can actually disinter the
track.
person. Yeah.
Yeah. Reunite them if they can with their family.
Yeah. So I think it's good.
Yeah. Me too.
It's a good. When I used to work at Fairleigh Dickinson Dental School, they used to have one. Mm-hmm. We would have to. I worked in the anatomy lab, and in New Jersey, if someone passes away and they're indigent, they are not allowed to be taken by schools. Mm-hmm. But in South Carolina, anyone who's indigent, they will end up in the medical schools. Mm-hmm. And Fairleigh Dickinson, we used to have to purchase like 20 people, and they would come up in a big tractor trailer truck, and then they would replenish the supply for the dental students to actually
like work on practice.
Do gross anatomy, the dissection and things. Very, very important. But it's amazing that states have different rules. Yeah,
like we all live in the United States, but every state is like so and different.
New Jersey has plenty of indigent people but they just say that's more dignified than just going to the, not just going to, but ending up in a medical school.
Well, but that actually brings up a question of somebody's like rights and wishes, right? So if a person is indigent or does not have a family, that doesn't necessarily mean that they should go to a medical school, right? Like it brings up an ethics question of like, what's the permission like for that?
Yeah,
like,
no, it is.
So it's interesting that South Carolina at that time was just saying, oh well, here you go.
Yeah, they didn't want the backlog. I mean, you remember the backlogs of people at the like the medical examiner, and then it would come time where the legal requirement of time had gone by, so we could do a burial. Mm-hmm. But again, that the burial was always either numbers or a name, and they knew where the person was going to be interred. So if a relative came forward, there wouldn't be a problem. They would just say, "Oh, well, we'll disinter the person."
Right.
But it was interesting because I get phone calls when I was at Fairleigh, and people would call up and say, "How do I donate my body?" And I thought it was so bizarre in the beginning, but those people ended up being so interesting.
I think it's they want
to just want to donate their body.
Helps further medical. I mean that's something I don't think people really know about. Like in our previous episode, we talked about different ways you could go to your final resting place. Like, could you go to space? Could you go here? You could donate your body to science.
Yes,
you can donate to a medical school. I mean, there's paperwork. I do believe I've heard that there are like limitations, like depending on your health and everything. But it's definitely worth investigating, and it doesn't preclude you from having a service. You can still have a memorial service. You can still have a gathering. You could still have a regular funeral, and just instead of burial or cremation or going to the sky or terramation or any of those things we talk about, like you could donate your body to a medical school. I think that's very noble to do.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. But the only thing people were mistaken is many times they thought they would be donating their body, and some researcher would say, "Hey, I just found the cure for something."
Yeah.
And that wasn't it. It was the dental students who, when you're in the dental chair, you can appreciate that they've had practice.
Yes.
And they know exactly where everything is.
Yes.
That's basically what it is.
Yeah. So. Right. Your body may not exactly fine. There's also, and I may not be using the right term, but there's also the body farm, right? So there are places, sometimes they're in like different, like they might be in I'm using Florida because like tropical type temperatures, but you can donate your body to these, I'll call them body farms, but basically they're to do criminal research to see like how the body decomposes, how they can get like fingerprinting or DNA or whatever, but they basically let your body go into certain elements to see how that would work in like a crime scene. I think that's really interesting too. I mean, you're definitely helping society by furthering research in that area.
you bring that up and people would say, oh, that's disgusting. Are you kidding me? But then if you start talking about it like we talked about last episode, I guess, all of a sudden I say, oh. So when you're watching the crime show and they say, oh, well, the decomposition is so far along, that must mean they've been dead for a week. Not a month, but a week.
How do they know that?
How do they know? Because they do know. And it's very helpful. So,
yeah.
Yep.
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
All right. Well, we definitely covered a lot of different topics here.
We did.
So that's it for now for the Hearse Whisperers. Remember to like, subscribe, hit that notification bell, and we'll see you next time.